In today's video, the coverage continues surrounding ICE cracking down on illegal migrants as there are in New York City just weeks before the upcoming mayoral election. And in recent events, what should have been a standard arrest quickly turned into chaos, thanks to those on the left who feel it's necessary to oppose anything associated with the president, even if it means defending violent repeat offenders who should have been removed long ago. But because of sanctuary cities like New York, these individuals are allowed to roam free. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns just like this. But first, let's go to CNN, where Scott Jennings is forced to sit through Ana Navarro from The View making a series of baseless statements about ICE agents. Take a listen.
Is there proper training happening here when it comes to ICE?
There's not. We've all seen it. And there should be.
You definitively state that they're not being properly trained. Do you know that?
They're shooting dogs. They're shooting dogs in people's that have been locked in people's bathrooms. They're abandoning small children alone in cars while they. No, it's not false. Look it up. Don't just say false. I actually
abandoning small children.
Yes,
they turned the children over to HHS.
There were actually small children abandoned in a highway in a car in Cicero, Illinois.
You make these sweeping statements that they're not training.
Would you like me
they're
to
not
get
training ICE agents. Of course
with
they go through
examples
training.
of what is happening?
Of course they're training them.
Well, they're training them, then they're not learning this stuff. They're definitely violating human rights, Scott.
Well, I disagree with you.
Okay, well.
Well, look, Scott, she had a specific example. It sounds like you were unfamiliar with it.
I'm not aware of her example. Here's what I know.
Okay, so
under Joe Biden, they didn't enforce federal immigration law. Now we do. We're having hundreds of thousands of interactions.
My point is that you
things
just
will
said,
happen, but she said they are not training. She said they're not training.
Do you think that trained ICE agents would?
No, her first statement was, she said, quote, they're not training them.
You just acknowledged that you don't know what she was referring to.
I don't know what she's talking
scooping up U.S. citizens without giving them...
I disagree with the generalization that they're scooping up U.S. citizens.
There's 170 that have been scooped up.
Well, there's over 500,000 illegal aliens that have been deported.
There's little children that have been scooped up that are U.S. citizens.
I know, you don't want the law enforced. I get it. You don't have to yell at me. You don't want the law enforced. I understand.
Remember that viral video the media and Democrats pushed? The one claiming a child was being detained by ICE?
Meanwhile, this is what's happening to black children in our neighborhoods.
Hey, so... Alright, so apparently, my video yet going viral again, saying that ICE is detaining kids. So they're using that picture, which is my video, of me and my son playing cops and robbers. Literally, this is us. It's just crazy, like the link people will push is lie on the internet, and I'm just lost for words. But if y'all don't know, me, myself, and my son, we live in Texas. We don't live in Chicago. Me and my son playing cops and robbers. Got a whole series on my page. I'm trying to figure out why people lying to make it political. Don't know, but it's sick as hell, and y'all need to find Jesus.
This is exactly what happens when narrative comes before the truth. The left is fine with manufacturing outrage as long as it further pushes their agenda. And networks like CNN are more than happy to feed it to their audience. But once you actually are able to see what's happening on the ground, what agents are actually dealing with, the story changes. And anyone with a shred of common sense understands the real chaos these agents deal with, like the mayhem going on in New York City. Take a listen.
That's when all of this started happening. All of these people are protesters. Again, anyone who's been taken into custody, we cannot confirm whether they were actually undocumented immigrants or protesters. The protesters are causing a lot of the issues out here. Blocking traffic, they are pushing people. Say that to us. Say it, but say it cleanly, please. You don't want people. Why are they?
You don't want these people in our city policing them. They should not have the jurisdiction that they do. They're fakers. I don't believe them to have this authority. I don't think they should be able to cover their faces. They should not be able to kidnap people in the streets.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What about all the traffic that's being blocked and people that need to get emergency?
Traffic and stuff. It's New York City. You cannot. Traffic being blocked is okay if we're going to stop them from kidnapping people, innocent people.
Okay, thank you for talking with us. So as you see, they are, I I don't know where we lost our photographer. Yeah, this is what's happening here, and it is just hundreds of people, and people just keep growing, gathering, joining this line. We're now walking down the street even further, down Lafayette, heading toward downtown. People are in suits coming from work. People are just getting off the subway. A lot of people aren't even sure what they are protesting. What did you just say, sir?
My cousin!
Did they arrest him?
Yes! He's back in Dominican Republic!
Yeah, so we apologize for the language. There's a lot of people, but people have been throwing things at the ICE agents, blocking traffic. I hope you guys can still hear me okay.
Yes.
But this whole area, if you can avoid this area, do so, because we're just hoping that it doesn't get more violent.
Where are they going now? In other words, are they following the agents as they walk down the street? Is that what's happening, or is this just purely a protest?
No, that's exactly what's happening. This is just a makeshift protest. So this is one of the ICE vehicles here. They were walking back to their cars. Now, one of the agents you can see just getting out of the car, trying to get a hold of one of the other ones. People are pounding on the windows of the car. Whether anyone is inside or whether anyone has been arrested is unclear. Again, people are just stopping traffic, standing in front of the ICE agents, yelling racial slurs. You can see this woman over here is blocking traffic. I've got to move so I don't get hit. There are people here. The ICE agents are trying to get out. And come with me here, Greg. They're not letting them leave. So it's unclear whether people are even inside the vehicle aside from these agents, but these women aren't letting them go anywhere. And at the risk of sounding sympathetic, they're yelling, they're pushing the agents, and the minute that the agents move somebody, that's when these people get thrown to the ground and tensions flare and escalate.
The mainstream media keeps on trying to push this narrative that these protests are peaceful, but that's simply not true. And you have individuals in these liberal-run cities that believe they can pick and choose which laws should be enforced. And the irony is, these are the same people who demand safer streets, less crime, because whether they want to admit it or not, Trump's enforcement laws are doing them a favor. But with people like you heard with the woman in that clip who believe ICE doesn't belong there, it's voters like her who share that exact same mindset, which explains everything when it comes to the reality that they're about to elect someone like a Zohran Mamdani as the next mayor of New York City.
Meanwhile, protests erupting as ICE conducted a raid in New York City's Chinatown, cracking down on illegal street vendors. The hot topic of immigration enforcement now set to take center stage at the final debate in the race for New York City mayor, and that is tonight. Alexis McAdams is live on Canal Street in Lower Manhattan, where the chaos unfolded. Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, it looks a lot different right here in New York City this morning. But where I'm standing on this sidewalk is right near New York City's Chinatown. For decades, there's been a problem with people selling counterfeit purses, fake designer items here on these streets. But they're not here today after the federal agents came right here to the Big Apple and made at least 9 arrests of people who they say were in the country illegally. Watch. Recording there on their cell phones as agents with ICE, FBI, ATF, and other federal law enforcement agencies pulled up yesterday afternoon. It's part of a crackdown on illegal street vending, according to DHS. So when the feds started to make arrests, protesters stepped in, chasing agents to the nearby federal immigration building. We've seen protests there before, and it happened again. DHS telling me that the migrants arrested are all from West Africa and say at least one had a final order of removal and prior crimes, including counterfeit. But the protesters didn't want those people to leave the country, yelling at the agents to take off their masks as they blocked ICE in the city streets. DHS says a group of protesters with criminal histories were also arrested.
Color me shocked. At this point, it's all just par for the course. The people who are the loudest, the ones out here screaming in outrage, don't even know who they're defending. They don't care to know what crimes were committed or what laws were broken. All they know is Trump bad, so they feel obligated to protest anything connected to him. They have the mindset of, how dare ICE enforce immigration law? How dare agents stop vendors from selling fake designer bags on the street? That's the mindset, emotion over logic. And right on cue, you have Democrat leaders stepping in afterwards, spinning the story, painting a false narrative for the public. Take a listen.
Back out here live. The question again this morning from ICE that I asked was, how did these people get into the country, Dana? They told me multiple of them entered in 2023 right at our southern border. So we'll keep an eye on it, Dana.
All right, Alexis, thank you so much. And Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons is here. So many questions to ask you. Thanks for being with us today. I want to show you some New York City officials slamming this ICE raid in Chinatown.
There is no excuse for sending military-style vehicles and a national law enforcement response for street vendors.
This wasn't about public safety. This was about targeting communities. None of this is about public safety. It is about fear and chaos.
We wholeheartedly reject the violence that ICE is bringing to our city. Subjecting street vendors to this kind of violence is deplorable.
So, sir, let me ask you this. This has been a problem for a long time. Now, is it that you have the resources or the means, or did you have intelligence that said, okay, well, these guys, we know that some of them were here illegally?
Yeah, Dana, thanks for having me. Yeah, so it's a bit of both, right? Obviously, we have to build a criminal case when we're doing such things as counterfeiting some of the purses that were stolen, sold on the street. But a lot of the shop owners down there have complained for a long time. And again, I wish those elected officials and the city officials actually waited for us to do media and press, because the 9 that were arrested, their rap sheets are long. Right. Forgery, possession of drugs, drug trafficking, robbery, assault. So these are criminal aliens that were being targeted. Again, we do these based on criminal intelligence, and that's what we had. And, if you look at the video, everything was fine with the officers talking to those individuals and making those arrests until violent protesters showed up.
These people don't actually want to solve the problem. If you ask them directly, they won't even have an answer. What they will do is complain, lecture everyone about what's wrong. And at this point, it feels like illegal migrants might have more rights than actual citizens. When you have business owners who pay rent, have leases, contribute real value to these communities. And they've been speaking out about this for years, but their voices go ignored, while Democrat leaders continue to make excuses and defend the very people causing the problem. In Chicago, you got judges who've gone so far as to rule that ICE agents can be arrested if they detain an illegal migrant coming out of the courthouse. Here's Tom Homan responding to this ridiculousness. Take a listen.
We want access to the jail to talk to the guy that you locked in a jail cell. You locked him up. Apparently he's a public safety threat. That's who we want to talk to. Right. So don't play this game, you're protecting victims and witnesses of crime. No, sanctuaries are sanctuary criminals. You're protecting a criminal. And I've said this many times, I've been beaten up about it. When I was an agent, a long time ago, I'm old, I've arrested U.S. citizens for harboring, concealing an illegal alien in their home or the place of business. When we know a criminal illegal alien is sitting in Holman County Jail right now, and we know for a fact he's there because they ran him through NCIC's fingerprints, they automatically bounce up against DHS databases, and we get a read back saying, okay, this guy is sitting in jail right now, we've deported him twice, we have a warrant for his arrest. We want to talk to that guy, but they won't give us access to him. Is that not harboring, concealing? I mean, that's a question for DOJ, but, why are they held to a different standard than a regular U.S. citizen? That's harboring, concealing. All we want is access to the guy you locked up. You put him in jail cell. When you're done with him, give us a call. We'll pick him up. And people say, well, we can't hold him for you. It's against, you need a criminal warrant. No, you don't. All you need to do is make a phone call. Say, hey, this guy you got a warrant for, he's being released at 3 p.m. today. And we'd be there to get him. It's a simple process. But they make it sound typically, like say, well, we need a judicial warrant, not an administrative warrant. Wrong. Read the law. The law doesn't require a judicial warrant. If we had to get a judicial warrant for every illegal alien we arrested, the United States criminal courthouses would never be operated. You're talking millions and millions of people.
So it seems like a political thing. I mean, is there anyone in the sanctuary cities and the sanctuary states who are actually happy with what you're doing? Like, you're going to clean this place up? Or is it everyone feels like they have to take this political grandstand, that they have to
take the political grandstand? These people hate Trump more than they care about the community, obviously. If I was elected mayor or governor and I got federal law enforcement officers in my city to take public safety threat illegal aliens out of my neighborhoods, hey, I'm shoulder to shoulder with you. But again, I think the hatred for Trump and this administration and the political, look, what we're doing every day is showing exactly what happened the last 4 years. When they said it was a secure border and we're deporting 500,000 people and 1.6 million left on their own, What happened to that secured border the last 4 years? You said no one was coming. And every day we arrest these criminals and find out these criminals were released under the Biden administration. And Biden administration stood on stage saying every one of these people are vetted. We're showing the last 4 years they lied to the American people. They don't like that.
I completely agree with him. The reality is Democrats rather see more chaos than things actually get fixed. ICE isn't implementing any new laws. They're simply enforcing the laws that have always existed. But the problem with many on the left is this. Because they don't agree with the law and they don't like the president enforcing it, they immediately claim that he's breaking the law. And that right there exposes the real issue with the left, where it's emotion over logic, outrage over intelligence with this particular situation. Too many people are allowing emotions to drive the conversation instead of facts. And it's not about upholding justice anymore. It's just all about maintaining outrage. But let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channels for more breakdowns just like this. And don't forget, stick around for the next video. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson suffers humiliation after a reporter asked him to explain his destructive tax plan that many are already saying will surely destroy the city of Chicago. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.